All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mack here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. Of course, on demand on the site as well. We are live on Facebook, on 1010XL's Facebook page. Hello, Facebook. Good afternoon to you. And streaming live on the Relevant app on the Jaguar Fanatics channel. Welcome, everybody. From the Relevant app, a great app. So easy to reach your audience, man. Just a couple clicks. Hope everybody's doing well out there. A little bit late to the party today. I had a speaking engagement down in St. Augustine Beach. By the way, I've never been to the Embassy Suites down there. What a beautiful resort. That, man, I tell you what, if you're looking to get away, St. Augustine Beach right there. Not bad spot whatsoever. But Graham Marsh, my esteemed producer, was nice enough to be a little flexible. So here we are today at 12 noon, high noon, kicking off, catching up with Tommy Mack. And we'll say hello to Graham. Hi, Graham.
Hello,
what's up, dude?
sir. How are you?
Off a 3-day binger in Vegas, eh?
Absolutely.
Good for you. Was it great?
Oh.
It's a great city, isn't it? How was the ride home?
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible, but it's
atrocious.
worth it. It's worth it.
We had to connect twice.
Oh, that's tough. Were they on time or no?
Yeah, everything was on time.
Oh, that's you lucked out there.
The flights themselves ran smoothly. It was just a long day.
Yeah,
man.
no doubt. It's
and
tough.
you lose so much time.
I think they do it on purpose. They're like, ha ha ha. This
Right.
is your reward for leaving Vegas.
Right, for real.
No direct flights unless you fly private. Of course, fresh off the Pro Bowl games. Listen, my wife is a Pro Bowler. We watched the Pro Bowl. We watched it all day. I was all right. I mean, the balloon toss, throw that out. I mean, that's dumb. The other stuff was cool. I like how they got the O-line and D-line involved, with they had to go remove the weights and then pull the thing. That was kind of cool, kind of like of a tug-of-war type. I like some of the games, and I even like the flag football, but you gotta manage your own expectations. Like, look, it's flag. It ain't going to be ultra competitive, and people are going to score. I mean, who had 5 touchdowns? Geno Smith?
Right.
That doesn't happen in a real game normally.
I think the most impactful player of the whole thing was Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some of it's fun. I mean, I think for what they're trying to do, I say this. Just, look, you're not going to go back to playing ball anymore.
No.
Real football.
No.
You're not. You're not going back to that.
The minute you take the pads off, they're never coming back.
No, you're never coming back. And okay, fine. Whatever. You don't want to do that. That's fine. But I think you just throw a party. Screw it. Like, just throw a big party like they did. Do some games. Like, I think it's okay. I just think the viewers got to be like, all right, this is it from now on. Now, you may agree with it, you may not. It is what it is. I will tell you this. I think I'll credit my wife, too, as we were sitting there. She's like, they used to allow the Super Bowl participants to participate in the Pro Bowl because it was after the Super Bowl. I'm like, yeah, they did. That's right. I mean, and she's like, they should, that's, especially if they're doing that. Like, let's get them more, get them involved. I mean, who doesn't want to see the Super Bowl winning quarterback in a flag football matchup? You know what I mean? He's not going to try that hard. He's just going to throw it around a little bit. So, at the end of the day, was it football? No. I thought Baselli made a great point. When was it? Monday? The kids get to see the players' faces. So that's cool. A lot of times with the helmet, you don't see their face.
Right.
You don't even know what they look like. The catches in the air were kind of cool. It was all right.
Yeah.
So it's all right. I mean,
but
it is what it is. I don't know.
You hit the nail on the head a second ago, and you said people need to temper their expectations.
Yeah, you just gotta manage
it's
them,
like,
that's all.
and we were just talking about this off air. Like, something that makes it tough is, like, because of when the Pro Bowl is, you've just gotten done watching the best football of the year in multiple weeks of the playoffs, watching these fantastic games, and you're looking forward to the Super Bowl, which is, in theory, the best game of the year.
Yeah.
And then you have this exhibition no one cares about in the middle of it.
Yep.
So I think you're right. The timing's weird because it's just, as a football fan, we've gotten used to the past couple of weeks watching everything's on the table, super high stakes, close game, everyone's balls to the wall, and now all of a sudden it's like,
I watched Trevor. I just wanted to watch Trevor, but I didn't really watch the game itself, like when they were doing I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't watch the third one that much. I kind of got distracted, But
3 games was a lot.
Yeah.
It felt like
that was an all-day event.
Yeah, it felt like a lot.
Jeez. I'm surprised the players, and only one got hurt, right? What's his name? Hurt
Myles
his toe.
Garrett.
Yeah, dislocated his toe or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he hurt himself in that like competition that the linemen were in, where they like ran through the walls and like jumped over stuff and whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's when he hurt himself.
Even the dodgeball, I don't know. I'd probably get rid of dodgeball.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go play dodgeball somewhere else. Go watch a movie. Get all you need. But look, again, I think if they tinker with it a little bit and the fans understand, hey, I'll tell you this: you get to see them more. You get to see them a lot more. You get up close and personal a little bit more. The viewer, I mean, on TV. You get to see what they look like.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's cool. But
Peyton and Eli are great.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Peyton was pissed.
He was legit.
He was
upset.
legitimate upset. Like, it should have been a penalty.
Right.
Like, Peyton, take it easy, man. It's an all-star game. Nobody really cares, do they? But there is money involved, so the winners, they get paid a little bit more than the non-winners. But nonetheless, Pro Bowl games are over. I'd wait till after the Super Bowl, and then have your big party, and then do whatever.
And then at that point, us football fans, we know the season's over because the Super Bowl has just happened. Mm-hmm. Like, at that point, we just like any football.
Right.
Our expectations are not the same as being sandwiched in between the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
No, right. Well, look, Super Bowl is going to be fun. I can't wait. I'm going to be up in Savannah, actually, at a dance competition, but it's done right before the kickoff, and then I'm going to watch it in a hotel lobby.
Didn't you have to do that last year, too?
I did. That's right. Good memory. Yeah, the Nancy Dance Studio's up there to compete, so we'll be doing that. Looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a pretty good game. I want to get into something real quick because we talked about it briefly, maybe after the Chiefs game. They're now calling these things hip tackles, and they want to look at stopping hip tackles. I don't like the hip tackle. I get why the defender's doing it because you can't do anything else anymore without getting fined. But you do put that offensive player in a very bad position. It's very similar to the reaction of a horse collar. You're going one way and you get pulled back and tears happen. You rip knees, you rip ankles, you rip tendons. The hip tackle's a lot like that because you're basically – then I guess it's a good way to get them down. To me, the NFL caused the hip tackle. Because you can't do anything else, so you're afraid to do anything else. I'll tell you this, and you and I talked about this, Graham, and we're going to get credit for this one day, because I think, how you, in my opinion, you handle all these hits to the head, blah, 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 unnecessary, all this stuff. We talked about it during the year. Just add the word inadvertent to penalties. You didn't mean to hit him in the head, right? You didn't aim for his head. He ducked, you ducked, yet you hit, right? The replay will show it. I come in and I go to swat the ball and I miss and my hand hits the quarterback in the face. That shouldn't be a 15-yard penalty. Now, if I grab his mask and throw him down the ground,
exactly.
That's a different story. But the inadvertent, I think they got to add that, and they should be 5-yard penalties, not 15.
There's been this weird,
because it just seems like I don't know where you go from. Like,
I
okay,
agree.
say you can't hip tackle anymore. How am I tackle?
Right, exactly.
I mean, then you're going to allow me to hit him anywhere in the body, no matter where and how do I not land? I can't land on him either. Like, that's
right. It's like it's impossible, dude. And
it's tough. It's really tough to bring especially QB. You can't even land on the QB. I think that's a dumb rule. I'm sorry, it's football. Do clavicles break? They do, but so they heal too. Injuries are part of the game.
You can't play tackle football and have enough rules to where it's a fun game to watch and no one's going to get hurt. That's an impossible. That will never happen.
Flag football will not do it.
Correct.
And you can get hurt in flag.
100%.
You can get hurt in flag. And I know this is going to sound terrible, but I think I speak for a lot of players. I don't speak for everybody. Maybe I don't speak for a lot, but I bet you some of them believe. I would much rather get a ding to my head than tear my knee. I much rather. I've never been knocked out. I almost was once. I whacked that back. It's funny. My worst concussion I remember vividly. Isn't that wild? These dings and stuff, I don't remember all of them. I remember the bad ones, though. I remember my first one in high school, how the side of my face caught on fire. And my coach is like, how does it feel? And I was like, not bad. He's like, well, get back in there. Can't do that today. But that was the deal. But I do. I remember my worst one. It was on the Jaguar game. I made a tackle, whacked the back of my head, was totally out of it. I remember looking at the huddle. The huddle was getting ready to form. I had to get the call in. I'm still like kind of on one knee looking at the huddle like, wow, that's really far away. How am I ever going to get there? But I get over there. I even got the call right. Now, granted, I missed the tackle. And then after that, I said something to Pete Mitchell. He grabbed the trainers, and next thing you know, I'm out of the game. And I remember it vividly. And I remember almost being totally out of it. Guess what? I would take that all day long than tearing a foot or a knee. I would. And I don't know if everybody would. And the brain is it's a very serious thing. Big skull, big head should be able to take it. I think there's something to that too, but I'm not a neurologist or whatever you'd call that specified doctor, right? Neurologist for the head?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah. Somewhere in there. But I do think they need to add this inadvertent. I think you could quicken the game up a little bit. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be so, a big penalty.
And there's been, to your point, goes along the same lines. For some reason, there's been this weird thing with like all of the safety rules and all that kind of stuff. It like has to be 15 yards.
Right.
Anytime there's ever been a rule in corporate, it's always 15.
It's more than 10.
Right. And to your point, it's like, why does it always have to be that way? Nope. If you're trying to get something out of the game,
right,
but you don't think it's like a reckless,
right,
idiotic way to hit or something, why can't we just give you like a little slap on the wrist and we keep the game moving?
Right. And look, tackle like rugby players. There's something to that. They put their head to the side. They great form tacklers, but they land on each other. And I know you're allowed to land on other players, but if you hit a quarterback like that, you should be able to land on him. Because when you don't, you get the hip tackle. Look what happened to Mahomes look at Arden Key. That's what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's like,
100%.
I'm not going to hit him and land on him. I'm going to hit him and yank his ass down. And you know what? If his foot gets caught, too bad. You've made me do this. I don't know how else you do it. And you can't like toss him and throw him to the ground. You can't do much. So
part of the problem is with slow motion makes it look like the defender has more time to think about how he's specifically doing this.
Right.
When you have to understand that this is all happening in real time.
Real quick time.
Correct. So when you watch in the slow motion,
yep,
you can make any tackle look dirty in slow motion.
Yep.
Because it looks like the defender knows exactly what he's doing and then calculatedly does this to injure this, and it's like that's not what's happening when it's happening really quick.
Especially when over the middle and they're bang plays, and the receiver, he's going to duck because he sees you coming, and you may not duck enough, and you whack him right in the head.
Right, exactly.
You don't mean to. It's not like you're now. Look, if guy's coming across and I literally duck my head and nail him right in the face, yes, that's throw me out of the game. But if I'm not trying to do that, I'm trying to hit them with a body shot, and he ducks or whatever, somehow his face gets hit. That's too bad. I don't know. I think they got to look at that because you're going to see more ACLs, more Achilles, more different tendon shredding because of these kind of hits. Why do you think they outlawed the horse collar?
Yeah,
because of those injuries.
Right.
They don't want these they shouldn't be getting injured like that. The hip tackle is the same thing.
And correct me if I'm wrong though, because you've obviously done it more, so you would know better than me. It seems like as a tackler, it is much easier to avoid a horse collar.
Well, horse collar became easy because if a guy got by you a little bit, all you had to do was reach out, and there's a little U in the way the shoulder pad's made that you just grab right there, then you just yank him back. He can't go anywhere, right? I mean, if you grab him by his belt,
yeah,
see if that works. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I'm saying like,
so I don't know. To me, the horse collar was always a last ditch. I got to find a way to get this guy down. You know what I mean? And then it became more of an art. Like the hip tackle's an art. Think about that. I'm running at you. I'm going to hit you, throw my lower body in front, pull you. You know what I mean? Like there takes some almost acrobatics to it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. They got to figure that out though. And again, you got to protect the head as best you can, but sometimes you just can't. All right, the game this weekend's going to be phenomenal. What's the line? I haven't checked. Do you know the line?
I do not.
Close?
I can give it.
Check
I can
it
give
out
it a
if
whirl.
you don't mind. I'm curious. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm leaning Chiefs. I'll say it. I think I said it last week. I'm leaning, and I like Philly. I think Philly's really, really, really good. And I think the Chiefs are too. I think the Chiefs O-line is going to have their hands full. There's no doubt about it. But I think they're gonna be all right. I think the real big matchup here for the Eagles to win is for them to control the Chiefs D-line, because with the addition of Frank Clark, who rushes the passer on the outside, of course, Chris Jones, one of the best, if not the best, 3 technique in the game.
It's Eagles minus 1.5.
Yeah, it's going to be
so pretty much a pick 'em.
It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a physical game. There's going to be a lot of energy in this game. You got 2 great quarterbacks in this game, a lot of skill position guys in this game. It's going to be so much fun, but I think it's going to come down to that. I mean, you got 3 Pro Bowlers on the Eagles O-line. Kelsey, best center, if not one of the best.
They're so ridiculous, man.
Oh, unbelievable. Lane Johnson, one of the best right tackles in the game. And Dickerson, that monster freaking guard they have. He is a beast out of Bama. But like I said, Chris Jones, I'm moving him around. They do. Frank Clark's back. They can rush. Going to be an interesting matchup there. Obviously, with Hurts, you got to be really careful. He can take off and hurt you. I mean, from anywhere on the field. Mahomes can get you for 30 or 40, but you're catching Mahomes. I don't think you're catching Jalen Hurts.
Hurts is...
Kid? I got to give him... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that the way he handled his demotion at Bama, the way he went to Oklahoma, to where you know what I mean?
Right.
You got to give this kid a lot of credit, man. That's
he's
a
never
lot
made
of
any
grit.
excuses.
No,
he
never bitched and moaned, never cried about it. Just stay. The Lord's got me. I'm going. And
Time to get after it. Yeah,
and he does it. I was listening. He could squat like 700 pounds.
It's insane.
700.
I know.
That's a lot.
As a QB.
For anybody, that's a lot.
I know.
Even a massive D tackle that can squat 700, you're like, whoa, that's a lot. 500, not a big deal. 550. When you get into the 6 and up, like I'm talking real squat, barbell.
Right.
Getting at least parallel, But anyway, his grit. I love grit. I as you can tell, I love grit. To do what he had to do to get to where he's at took a lot of guts and a lot of grit, and there didn't appear to be any pointing the finger. Is okay, whatever.
Right.
I'm going. I'll go do what I got to do, and I'm going to make it happen one way or the other.
Right.
A lot to be said for that young man.
What I really like about their offense in general, and particularly Hurts, is he is so good at taking the profit on every play.
Yeah.
And, that might mean that, every so often he's leaving a deep shot on the table or something.
Yeah.
But it seems like every single offensive play for Philly is positive yardage somehow.
Yeah.
And I think we may have talked about this last week with the Bills. The Bills are the opposite.
Right.
If the Bills can't get 30, 40-yard chunks, they don't move the ball.
No, right.
Josh Allen just never wants to take the 5-6 yards ahead of him.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts is not the best running quarterback in football, but he's the best runner at that.
Oh, man, he's tall. He's not going to run. Well, he could run you over, but he'll make you miss, and he can take off. Man.
And he's so good at, okay, there's 4 yards ahead of me. Let me go get that.
Yep.
And let me make it 2nd and 6. Let me get 5 more, 3rd and easy.
Yeah.
And they're so consistent at doing that. And they put together drives because of that reason.
I like what Jeffrey Lurie said about his extension. He's like, he's got nothing left to prove. I'm going to give this kid, I'd pay him whatever.
Oh, easy.
I'd do it early,
easily.
too. I don't care.
And why wouldn't you?
I tell you what, you got to we don't factor Jalen Hurts into the top QBs in the league until now. Now you do. I think you have to. Even the young guys. We always talk about Trevor, rightfully so, Herbert, Burrow, Allen. Mahomes, you got to throw this kid at least somewhere in that mix. I'm not saying ahead of everybody, but he's in that mix.
You just said the top 6.
Yeah.
I think pretty much everybody has Mahomes at 1.
Yeah.
The other
It's
5,
fair.
maybe you put Burrow at 2 because he's been to a Super Bowl. The other 4 after that, I think almost any order you put him in is acceptable.
I'm not counting out Rodgers yet either, man. I'm not counting out Aaron Rodgers. So I want to see where he ends up. If he ends up with the Jets, he's going to get killed.
Right,
I don't think that. But if he goes to the Raiders, you know.
Colin Cowherd posted a picture of Aaron Rodgers with a Jets jersey photoshopped on him.
Yeah.
And he said, this just looks less successful.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I saw that. I didn't know it's from him, but I was like, that's not a good look.
It's because we're just so used
to the Jets fans, but
we're just so used to the Jets just not doing well.
Yeah. Although he's got a couple wideouts that are pretty good. The kid from Ohio State.
Garrett Wilson.
Right? Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson's a player.
And there's one other guy I thought they have up there that's pretty decent.
Receiver-wise?
Yeah, I thought it was Garrett Wilson and one other younger type guy. But nonetheless, I mean, you look at Philly, the way they're built, man. They're just built perfect. D-line, O-line, QB,
there's no
skill set. Got the deep threat wideout. You got the tight end. You know, you got the corners, the backers. Their D-line is sick.
There's no weaknesses.
And they didn't, by the way, I heard Prosser on Monday talk that their D-line last year only had 29 sacks total.
Wow.
The Eagles. Now, granted, they added Reddick. Who else? They added somebody else. Reddick, I remember him sitting there. We were like, Hassan Reddick. It was like, he's not going to do that much. Okay. He's a very good player. But let me tell you something. Fletcher Cox makes that whole thing move. I'm telling you right now, that dude, you can't block him one-on-one. Just like you can't block Chris Jones one-on-one. You might get him here and there. You know, you might win your battles every so often, but over time, you're not. They're that good, and that opens everything else up.
That's what we're missing, that interior guy.
Well, and a guy that can finish on the outside.
Yep.
You know, sometimes Josh does, sometimes he doesn't. So, but you do need that. I hope they look at a 4-3, man. I'm telling you, a menacing 3 technique can change your entire defense.
Remember, Calais did that.
Calais Campbell. Jeffrey Simmons.
Oh,
Fletcher Cox.
Beast.
Chris Jones.
Beast.
I mean, think about that. These guys, it says something when they can disrupt. And why is it? Because you can't always double the 3. The guards got to take them one-on-one. And let me tell you something. When you're going against, it's not a tackle who's big like Chris Jones and as athletic, if not more, or close to it, as opposed to a guard. Well, maybe you get that. But for the most part, you get the size, but you won't get the feet. You won't get the hands. And that, to me, that's a game changer. You think back, bullies of Baltimore. Well, guess what? Without Goose and Adams, they don't have anything. I don't care how great Ray Lewis is as a backer. Those guys kept blockers off him. All he had to do was run to the ball. I mean, he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but to have those guys, you can't move them, earth movers, whatever you want to call them, that stirs the whole pot. Go back to the old days of Stroud and Henderson here in town.
Oh, my God, yes.
And Spice and Paz and Darryl. Oh, man. Hayward, Reggie, they were that. But without those 2 big dudes, you might not have any of it. It's exciting. I'm excited to see what the Jags do. Let me ask you this. I know Calvin is he's on the team once he's reinstated, I guess, but he's on the team. T. Higgins or Calvin Ridley, if you had the choice, without, this would cost this or this, just level playing field, who would you rather have on this team?
T. Higgins.
Because of his relationship with Trevor at Clemson, or just because he's that
and age
6'4" dominating?
And age as well. He's younger than Ridley. Ridley's not old, but T. Higgins is only in his 3rd year.
I need to look more into Ridley. Look, he's a very talented guy. There's no doubt about it. He's fast. He can get deep. I don't know what was going on up there in Atlanta, but he wasn't happy for a little while.
Yeah.
Even before the gambling thing, which is such a... I mean, come on, NFL. Just, you can hit somebody over the head with a gun and crack their head open and get maybe a game.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? You can hold up a store or whatever, go rob somebody. We'll give them 2 games, A little gambling. Nope, you're done for the year. Unbelievable. Well, we're getting closer. I tell you what, it never changes every time this time around of the year with the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What could have been. I mean, we all do it. It's so special to even get there. Just think about that. We think it's special to get to the wild card, which it was. Actually, we got to the divisional, which it was. But to get from there to the big show, that's an accomplishment. If you can do that, whew. And only time will tell. I think we're heading in the right direction. But I hope you have a great day out there. Happy Tuesday. Suck it up Tuesday. Tuesdays are just a day you got to go to work, man. At least do some work. And we'll be back on Friday after my spot at Jaguars Today. I'll break down the game a little bit. I'm going to get into those stats. I'm telling you, my Jags, my biggest offseason need overall, get off the field on 3rd down a lot better than this past year. My number 2, cover the tight end. You do those 2 things, give me a defensive tackle that can kick some ass. I think you may have it on the roster, to be honest with you. I do. And a 4-3. But to me, that's desperately needed. All right, that'll do it. Have a great day, everybody. Peace and love out there. Until next time, stay safe and be cool. We'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. On demand, of course, on Facebook and streaming live on the relevant app. Have a great day. Peace.